Okay, so for our final for COM 310 interpersonal relationships, our group chose to focus on the Hunger Games, which is almost like a central love story between two main characters, Katniss Everdeen and Peeta Mellark, and their journey going against the Capitol, who holds the power in this society, and making it through some of the deadliest games in their time.
Yeah, thanks, Bella. And so we start here and we look at the capital and the districts and how conflict management plays a role, specifically to those two. And so the capital uses its authority to oppress and exploit the districts through its wealth and its power, while the districts struggle to assert their rights and autonomy. The mostly at least 10 out of the 12 districts are poor, if not um borderline poor. And so it's the conflict management here is the capital is basically trying to keep everyone in line um by kind of making them the highest power in the entire civilization. And so when we look at control mechanisms, the capital maintains control over the districts through um multiple mechanisms such as surveillance, propaganda, and of course the annual Hunger Games. Um, and so when we look at the actual games, we see like why did the Capitol put this in place? Well, this was one of the reasons this is one of the ways that they kind of use conflict management for their benefit. They think if they can have these kids in a arena fighting, that will reduce the war and the violence going on in everyday life throughout the year. And so that kind of ties into the socioeconomic disparities between the capital and the districts. While the capital enjoys wealth and luxury, the districts suffer from poverty and deprivation, and the capital is keeping it that way specifically um, to not get overrun, to not get overthrown, and to not be in the position that the districts are in. And through solidarity and unity throughout the series, we see instances where the districts come together to oppose the capital's tyranny because they just realize, okay, this can't go on for much longer. And yeah, sorry, I can't turn to the next one. I think you have to do it, Bella.
I have to do, how do I don't know how to do that. Um, okay, maybe try exiting out and then just going straight to my slide
Okay.
and see if that works. That's weird.
Should I hit leave?
Yeah, I would hit leave and then just go directly to the slide and see if that works.
Oh no, not leave meeting.
Yeah, because if I start sharing my screen, then like you won't even be able to see the Google Slides.
Um, oh,
Yeah. Okay, cool. So the next thing that was focused on was Katniss's conflict management with other people, specifically her partner in the games, Peeta Mellark. And so I broke it down into three main categories. She tends to follow the most, and a couple examples of that. So the avoiding style, Katniss chooses to suppress her feelings for Peeta, who once gave her bread while she was starving very early on in the movie. Out of anybody in the district, they could have chosen any male, and he just happened to be the one. And so she almost kind of feels some sort of reliance on him, in that aspect. And so she's very, and she struggles with trying to accept her feelings that are slowly developing for him. Then similarly, that can be seen in the competing style. She finds herself often trying to be alone while in the games, not accepting help from her partner to start off. And then once she meets a little girl named Rue, she seems to really understand that, the only way to survive and get through this is to lean on the people who you can truly be allied with and trust them. And then the last one that's focused on is the collaborating style. And so, like I said, once she finds an ally in Rouge, she realizes that she can connect with others, whether that be on a friendship level or a more romantic level in the games.
Okay. I did the nonverbal communication within the Hunger Games. As we talked about a lot in our textbook as it went over and all the conversations that we've had within, it talks a lot about how human beings are communicating all the time throughout their lives, and the communication that is mentioned a lot was in the interpersonal communication and as well as public communication. Um, so I feel like this had a lot to do with the nonverbal within the Hunger Games. When analyzing the movie, I found that they use nonverbal communications throughout the games itself. Like, yes, the movie, but within the actual game that they were in, throughout each one of their series, even though we're focusing on the first one, it happened multiple times. One really, really good example was when Katniss Everdeen, the main character, held up her three fingers. As you can see in the picture, it shows her that's like that what they use to symbolize admiration and unity. When Rue died, she held up those fingers for Rue's districts, just letting them know that she um understands what they're going through, and just out of respect. And this went on through the rest of the series. So this was one of the biggest nonverbal communications. So anytime anybody died in the games, they would hold up the three fingers and it would show the admiration and unity that they all had. um, Another big thing between in the games itself was the communication that Peeta and Katniss had together through without even saying words, but just by head nods, their postures, facial expressions, and their body language. It showed a lot throughout the movie. Just because if they were to talk or be too loud, they could be found and killed. So nonverbal communication was the main source of communication throughout the whole entire movie.
Okay, this one you might need to exit out of the screen and go back because there's definitely words on it now. I promise.
Yeah. When I hit leave, it just says leave meeting.
Oh, okay, wait.
Maybe can you hit the escape button on your
Yeah,
keyboard?
maybe escape and go back to your browser.
Yeah, I tried.
Okay. Um, I I can definitely edit it so it does look like there's words on there, Brianne, if you want to just touch on yours. It's the exact same ones from your PowerPoint.
Okay, yeah. Um, so I mean, mine shows just pictures of Katniss and Peeta, and then Prim, the sister. So basically just showing how Katniss had a strong bond with her sister. So by showing her love to her, she sacrificed herself basically, and so that they would take her instead of her sister. Um, and then the part where Katniss and she showed courage to save Peeta when he was ill, and she went and she got his medicine for him so that he can be better, just showing teamwork and um, how they could overcome this together. And she just showed him her courage basically. And then with that, they got through it all. I also added a slide on the birds, just because that was such a strong communication. It would be more under the nonverbal. Um, when she was with Rue, I didn't really find a picture of her. I wanted to include it, but just how they wanted to communicate between them two while they were being they were in a team, they were basically looking after each other. And that's their way of communication, by the birds chirping or singing. I'm not sure what it was, but But that was basically it.
Awesome. So yeah, that was just our presentation on the Hunger Games and all the nonverbal conflict management and teamwork styles that were presented throughout.